This is the ENGWE M20 electric bike. Right out of the box, it just looks awesome. If you're into motorcycles or mopeds, I think the M20 is going to catch your eye immediately. The dual battery setup, the fat tires, and those big headlights up front make it feel like a little electric motorbike more than a typical bicycle. When I first saw it, I'll be honest, I was actually a bit intimidated. It looks super solid and sturdy, kind of beefy, definitely not your lightweight city e-bike. From my experience, this bike gave me a mix of excitement and curiosity. The dual battery setup is probably the main attraction. For anyone new to e-bikes, that just means you can double up on battery life, so you don't have to worry about running out of power, even on a really long ride. I tend to get a little anxious with e-bike range because, let's be real, nobody wants to pedal a 99-pound bike with no motor assist. With the ENGWE M20, that anxiety pretty much vanished for me. On my first couple rides, I barely made a dent in the battery level, even after going much farther than I usually do. Talking about key features, the motor is rated at 750 watts and peaks at 1000 watts. In regular terms, that basically means the bike's got more than enough power for city riding and pulling yourself up hills. If you've never tried an e-bike with this much torque, prepare for a fun surprise. It actually snaps you forward when you twist the throttle, something you just don't get on smaller models. The top speed is up to 28 miles per hour, which is right at the legal limit for most electric bikes. The tires are really chunky, measuring 20 by 4 inches. Fat tires like these are exactly what you want for off-road use, loose gravel, sand, or even city streets full of potholes. You don't have to worry about sliding out or getting that shaky vibe you get with skinny bike tires. The dual suspension, front and rear, makes a big difference, especially if you ride on rougher roads or head off the pavement. From my experience, I felt way less of those small bumps and cracks in the road. I guess if you're used to regular bikes, riding over a curb or a bumpy trail feels much smoother and less rattling. For some extra details, the ENGWE M20 runs on a 7-speed Shimano shifter. If you're new to bikes, that just means you've got a little flexibility when you want to pedal yourself, or if you're heading up a steep hill and need to make things a bit easier. Plus, there's both pedal assist and a pure throttle mode. Pedal assist means the motor helps out as you pedal, while throttle mode lets you just twist and go, like a scooter. Personally, I love having both, especially those days when I'm feeling lazy and just want the bike to do the work. The display is another thing I appreciate. It's a color LCD right in the center of the handlebars, showing you your speed, battery level, distance, and more. It's easy to read when you're moving. What really stands out are the lights. You get dual LED headlights in the front, which look really cool and are actually functional. For night riding, you will see and be seen, and the rear taillight lights up whenever you hit the brakes. That struck me as more advanced than what I'm used to on e-bikes in this price range. I want to talk a little about what it's like to actually ride this thing and what to expect if you're not used to heavy e-bikes. The ENGWE M20 weighs about 99 pounds with both batteries installed. You really feel that weight, especially if you try to pick it up or roll it upstairs. If you're used to regular bikes, that's going to be something to adjust to. But for riding, that weight actually makes you feel safer and more stable, especially at higher speeds or when you hit cracked pavement. In corners, you might feel that it's harder to lean quickly, but nothing unmanageable. In fact, for a fat tire e-bike, I think it handles better than others I've tried. Setup was mostly straightforward, though I'll admit it took me a little longer than I expected because of the size and weight. Most of the bike comes pre-assembled, with clear instructions in the box, and the little toolkit is a nice touch. The only part I got stuck on for a second was setting up the LCD controls, but after reading through the manual, it all made sense. So for anyone new to e-bikes, don't stress. It's not complicated. It just requires a bit of patience. Riding the ENGWE M20 off-road is what really made me love this bike. I took it on a dirt trail near my place with lots of bumps, small rocks, and some loose sand. The electric power, fat tires, and suspension worked together just like I hoped, basically floating over the rough stuff. There were a couple of steep hills where I noticed the motor worked hard, and you'll have to pitch in with some pedaling if you want to keep your speed up. That's typical with most e-bikes, and honestly, with the M20's power, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. On flat ground and moderate hills, the throttle alone had plenty of punch. You get mechanical disc brakes front and rear. Compared to hydraulic brakes, they need a firmer squeeze, but they gave me consistent stopping power and I never felt unsafe. The controls are all pretty basic. Horn button, headlight switch, and those familiar Shimano gears. I appreciate the simplicity because anything too complex just distracts from enjoying the ride. About looks, this bike absolutely gets attention. I've had several people ask me about it when I parked it, especially with the mag wheels, no spokes, huge lights, and motorcycle-style build. If you're shy of standing out, just be ready, because this bike is a total conversation starter. Now, let's talk about real-life pros and a few things to consider. Range is excellent. From my experience, the 2 batteries mean I can go on a full day of riding, city, trails, errands, without worrying about running out of charge. The only thing that gets a little annoying is that charging both batteries takes time, somewhere between 5 and 7 hours per battery. If you plan accordingly, though, it's hardly a big deal. Comfort is another strong point. The seat is surprisingly cushy for long trips, and the handlebars are adjustable, so you can raise or lower them to match your posture. I know some people have said the riding position is a little forward-leaning, and I'd agree, but I never felt uncomfortable, even after a long afternoon out on the bike. The fat tires and full suspension kept things way more comfortable than my old road bike. As for quality, I got my unit in good shape without scratches or defects. I did read online that some people ran into minor quality control issues, but that wasn't my experience. The fact that it's UL certified gives an extra layer of peace of mind about safety, which matters with e-bikes. From my experience, I'd recommend this for adults and especially anyone looking for something that can do it all: commuting, weekend adventure, or just cruising around. If you're a beginner, the M20 might feel big at first, but you'll get used to it fast. For those experienced with e-bikes, the dual suspension and fat tires are going to feel like a serious upgrade. Just keep in mind the bike's weight if you have to carry it upstairs, and plan ahead for charging time. Another thing I love is the little details, like the full chain guard, derailleur guard, sturdy kickstand, and integrated horn. Even simple things like reflectors and mud guards are included. Maintenance so far has been low-key. Just keep the chain lubricated and give the batteries a charge when you get home. In my opinion, this bike is perfect for anyone who wants a solid, durable e-bike that doesn't shy away from rougher rides or longer commutes. The combination of long range, reliability, and comfort makes it a top pick for me. It's also fun. There's just something special about twisting the throttle and feeling all that power instantly. In conclusion, the ENGWE M20 electric bike is a blast to ride and ticks a ton of boxes: real power, comfort, safety features, and great battery life. There are a couple downsides for me, just the heavy weight and longer charging, but those trade-offs feel minor compared to everything you get with this bike. So, if you're on the fence about upgrading or getting into e-bikes, this one's worth considering. I've really enjoyed my time with it, and can say it's probably the most fun I've had on 2 wheels in a while. I'll leave the details about the ENGWE M20 electric bike in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.